Hi guys, it's Rachel from Desert Blossom Crafts back with a new crochet pattern. As you can see, today's pattern is perfect for fall. We'll be making some cute pumpkin coasters. These are pretty easy to make. They just use some simple stitches. It's actually a 2-in-1 design, so we make the same oval, but we can make either a fat pumpkin or a tall pumpkin, either way, depending on which way you turn the oval, and we just make a small change on round 4 to get that 2-in-1 design. So it's pretty easy, pretty fun, and a great way to get some new fall decor, so I hope you'll stick around for the tutorial. To get started with these pumpkins, you're just going to need some worsted weight yarn and an H or 5mm crochet hook. You will need some different colors depending on what color you want your pumpkins and your stems to be. You can see I used orange and white for the pumpkins, and then I also did some brown stems and some green stems. You'll just need small amounts of all the different yarns, so just find the colors you'd like and then you can get started. One last thing before we get into the tutorial. If you'd like, you can check out the written pattern for these pumpkins. I do recommend following along with that as you watch the video. It will probably really help you. There is a free version on my blog, and there's also a PDF version that's available at a low cost in my shop. All the links for that will be down in the description box below if you'd like to check them out. Alright, and with that, I believe we can get straight into these pumpkins. So grab your yarn and your crochet hook, and to start your first coaster, we're going to make a magic ring. Now I'm just going to show this quickly. You can check out other videos on the magic ring if you're not familiar with it. I just wrap it around my hand like this, bring it through, and catch the loop in my crochet hook. There's my magic ring. I'm going to chain 1 with that, and that's not going to count as a stitch. We're just going to kind of pull it tight. And now we're going to do something kind of unique into this ring. Normally you just like single crochet a bunch or double crochet, but we're going to do a few different stitches and it's going to make the oval of the pumpkin. So go ahead and single crochet into the ring to begin. Now half double crochet. Now we're going to make 2 double crochet into the ring. 1 and 2. Now we kind of worked our way up, now we're going to work our way back down in size. We're going to do a half double crochet and 2 single crochet. So this is kind of forming 1/2 of the oval, and it will make sense when we pull it tight, don't worry. Now we're going to work our way back up and down again. So half double crochet, once again, 2 double crochet, 1, 2, half double crochet, and to finish it out we're just going to do 1 single crochet because we have this first single crochet we made at the beginning, and those are going to come together. So now go ahead and grab your tail, and we're just going to cinch this up, and as you can see, as you pull it tight, it becomes this nice oval that forms the oval of the pumpkin, and it's actually a really easy way to make an oval. So just keep that tail pulled tight, and now insert your hook into that first single crochet and slip stitch to join. I'm just going to tug on that slip stitch to make it a little bit tighter. And that is round 1, pretty easy. Now we're just going to do some double crochet rounds for the rest of the time. So go ahead and chain 2. And we're going to make 2 double crochet into the same stitch as the slip stitch. So this chain 2 is not going to count as a stitch, it's just kind of there to make sure we don't have any holes in the joining area. So go ahead and insert, let me just show you a little closer, into the same stitch as the slip stitch, there we go, double crochet again, and now I'm just going to work 2 double crochet in every stitch around. So here is 1 in the next, 2, insert into the next stitch, 1 and 2, and just repeat that around. I'll meet you back when I get there. Alright, so here's my round 2 done. I just have 2 double crochet all the way around. You can see my last set is going to be right in this single crochet. We're not working in that slip stitch, that's why we pulled it tight, because we don't want it to cause a hole either. So now just skip this chain 2 and double crochet in the top of the first double crochet we made, slip stitch to join it. And we're just going to pull that slip stitch tight again. Now round 3 is going to be similar, chain 2, just do 1 double crochet this time in the same stitch as your slip stitch. Now we're just going to do a pattern around. We're going to do 2 double crochet in this stitch and 1 in the next. 2 double crochet and 1 in the next. So that's a pretty easy pattern. Just go ahead and repeat that around. I'm moving kind of quickly through rounds 2 through 3 because I want to focus more on round 4 and the stem. So just repeat that around. Okay, here we are at the end of round 3. Same exact thing as before. At the end you should have 2 double crochet because we started out with just 1. Just join with a slip stitch to that first double crochet, pull your slip stitch tight, and now we're on round 4. So round 4 is kind of the determining factor in whether you're making the tall pumpkin or the shorter, fatter pumpkin. So just pick which one you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and start out with this one, and then I will do this one next. So to start out, we're going to make, as you can see, the seam for this pumpkin is kind of going down the bottom. So we're going to make this little blip in the pumpkin right at the beginning and the end. Whereas for the tall pumpkin, the seam goes down the side. Thankfully, it's actually kind of hard to find, but it goes down the side, so we actually do the little blip in the middle of the round. So that's why it's a little bit different for each one. Anyway, so to start out, we need to make this little blip. So this time, actually, you want to keep your slip stitch a little bit looser because we are going to have to work into it at the end. So tighten it a little bit, but not too much. Now to make the little blip, we're going to not chain this time, and we're just going to double crochet right from where we are. It's going to feel a little weird, but it works. So just yarn over, insert your hook into the same stitch as your slip stitch, and make your double crochet, and that's going to form one side of the little blip. Now from here, you're just going to do the established pattern around. So this time there will be 2 regular double crochet in between the increase. So we're doing 2 regular double crochet and then 2 in the same stitch. So 2, 1, 2, and then increase here. 1, 2, and increase. Now there is, in the written pattern, there is a specific place to put a stitch marker, and this is for helping you find the stitch where we do the stem. So it's a little bit hard to show you that without having the written pattern, so check out the written pattern to see where you place your stitch marker, and I'll have it in there when I am going to do the stem and kind of explain how I got it there. But for now, you can just repeat this pattern all the way around till we get to the end, and I'll show you how to finish this round off, but make sure you're following the written pattern so you see where you put the stitch marker as you go around. Okay, so I've done the pattern all the way around, and I've just come back to the slip stitch, and I have 2 double crochet at the end. To finish this off, it's really easy. We're just going to slip stitch firstly into the same stitch as these 2 double crochet, and that's just going to bring them down like they're supposed to be. You want to pull that slip stitch really tight. And then we're just going to slip stitch in the first slip stitch. That's why I told you to leave it a little bit looser. And you can pull that one a little bit tight too. And then that is it for round 4. And you can see when I pull the loop back, there we have our little blip all done. So you can cut your yarn, fasten it off, and I will show you round 4 for the tall pumpkin, and then we'll do the stems. Okay, so I'm back here on round 4 for the tall pumpkin, and I've actually already done some of it because it's actually the exact same thing when it starts out. It's the same exact pattern where you start and do 2 double crochet, then an increase, 2 regular, 2 double crochet. The only difference is you do want to do the chain 2 at the beginning. You don't want to leave that out because the blip is going to be down here rather than over here. So you're going to do that. As you can see, I've put the stitch marker in because in the written pattern how it works is I say like do 2 double crochet, then increase 3 times, so 1, 2, 3, place a stitch marker, then repeat that 6 more times, so 2 regular double crochet, and then here's the increase, 2 regular, then the increase. So I've done that 6 times around, and I hope that makes sense. It's just a little bit too hard to show you exactly how it works because it is the same exact thing. So I highly recommend checking out the written pattern, and it will make more sense with the stitch marker and how many to do. But basically I repeat it 3 times, place the stitch marker, and then repeat it 6 times. And that brings us to where we're going to make the blip on the tall pumpkin. So at this point I've done my 6th increase from the stitch marker. And I'm going to do 1 more regular double crochet, and then I'm simply going to do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to do 2 double crochet in the next stitch, and that will have made our little blip for the tall pumpkin. And from here you just repeat the pattern across. So now we're going to do 2 regular, 1, 2, increase, 1 and 1 in the same stitch, 2 regular, and 1 increase at the very end, and then of course just join with a slip stitch to your first double crochet, and that is it for the tall pumpkin. So again, the seam is on the side for this one, and then here's where the blip is, whereas in the other pumpkin we were doing the blip here because it's facing the opposite way. So here are my 2 pumpkins. They each have their stitch markers, and at this point we can make the stems. So there are 2 different stems in this pattern. The one on the shorter pumpkin is more curved like this, and then the one on the tall pumpkin is more just straight up. So I'm going to show you how to do both of those really quick. So let's start with the tall pumpkin. Now again, you can use any worsted weight yarn in a brown or a green. That will all work fine. You just want to start with a slip knot on your hook. Grab your pumpkin, and we're going to make a single crochet in this stitch with the stitch marker. So just insert your hook, pull up a loop, and complete a single crochet. The slip knot will form the top of that. You can just pull it tight a little bit. Now we're going to work in between these next 2 double crochets. So just insert your hook in between them, make a single crochet, and then we're going to do 1 in the next double crochet. So this was the easiest way to center the stem on this one, since I only wanted 3 stitches to be in the stem. So we're just working in the 2 center double crochet and then in between the 2 center double crochet. Now you can just chain 1, turn. For the first row you can just single crochet across, so 1, 2, and 3. For row 3, chain 1, turn. You're going to start by making a single crochet 2 together. So yarn over, pull up a loop, insert your hook again, yarn over, pull up, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops on your hook, and then just single crochet in the last stitch, and chain 1 and turn. And to finish, you're just going to skip this first stitch and slip stitch into the next one, and that will finish off your stem. You can just cut your yarn and take out your stitch marker, of course, and your tall pumpkin is all done. Your second stem is going to begin in a similar fashion with the slip knot and grabbing your pumpkin and just making a single crochet. Be careful not to catch the stitch marker when you do it. There we go. Now for this one, we're just going to do regular single crochet in the next 3 stitches so that you have 4 total. chain 1 and turn, and just single crochet across, so you'll still have 4, 2, 3, and 4, chain 1 and turn again. Now we're going to do what makes this kind of curve over to the side. So we want to skip the first stitch, single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then do 2 single crochet in this last stitch. Now for the last row, chain 1, turn to do 2 single crochet again, so this is going to make it curve over just a bit more. And then to end, single crochet 3 together over these last stitches. So we pulled up our first loop, insert, pull up, insert, pull up, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and at this point you can cut your yarn. And let me just show you, this is the front, what it will look like with that stem. So at this point you're all done. Great job. Just weave in your ends, and then I highly recommend steam blocking these. It will help them just lay perfectly flat, perfect for your cups. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, I sure would appreciate if you liked the video. And if you want more crochet patterns, come subscribe to see lots more that I have on my channel. I do stitch tutorials, garments, home decor, all of the above, and I would love to see you around there. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!